Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Darian, and of course you guys know me as the Bow Tie Fragrance Guy. And today I'm bringing you my second installment of a series I started called My 2 Cents Tuesdays. During my 2 Cents Tuesdays, I give a review on a fragrance that's been reviewed before by a lot of different reviewers. A fragrance that has a lot of information out there, but I feel that it's still appropriate, and I still want to give my 2 cents on it. Today's fragrance review is going to be, I'm going to be coming from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and I'm going to be reviewing Baccarat Rouge 540. So if you want to find out what my thoughts were on this gem, then stay right here. Alright guys, now let's take a look at the presentation of Baccarat Rouge 540. As you can see, the bottle here is a beautiful bottle, very typical of the fragrances from this lineup. They all have the same overall general bottle shape and design. If you look closely there, I'm going to try to get it in focus here. As you can see, it says there on the front, Maison Francis Kurkdjian, Baccarat Rouge 540, Eau de Parfum concentration. On the top there, you have the MK, which is standard with fragrances from this lineup. And something really cool here, if you look through here, you can see this nice chandelier. And you can see this through the back of the bottle. All of your information is there at the bottom, of course. Batch code and the whole nine. Overall, again, very, very beautiful presentation. I did not bring the box down, but, you know, it is what it is. But this has been the presentation of Baccarat Rouge 540. So this fragrance, Baccarat Rouge 540, was released in the year of 2015. Now, upon its initial release, this fragrance was released in a very limited quantity. And at that time, the fragrance was going for a pretty hefty penny. I want to say it was $4,000 for you to get your hands on this fragrance when it initially came out. I think it's pretty safe to say for me, as well as many others, that if it had stayed that way, then I probably would have never owned a bottle of this fragrance. But I am glad that they released this fragrance and made it open to the general public, and now you can get this fragrance for about $300. Now, this fragrance, when I initially sprayed it, I didn't quite understand what all the hype was about. But that was just upon the initial spray. This fragrance, I will say wholeheartedly, you have to give this just a few minutes and really start to let it develop and wear on your skin. And when you do that, that's when the magic starts to happen. I said in a few videos ago, I think I may have shot a video last week, where I talked about the fact that I needed to try to figure out 5 minutes or so of dialogue to put together before I reviewed this fragrance, because it isn't the easiest fragrance to review. This fragrance is blended very, very well. It's blended to perfection, so trying to pick out individual notes is somewhat of a challenge. But I will say, I will tell you what this fragrance smells like. I know you've heard a lot of reviewers talk about this sweetness, and it does open up with a very this kind of burnt, sugary, crystallized sweetness. And that is coming from the use of the floral notes of jasmine and saffron. Saffron, when it's used in fragrance, the way that it's used in this fragrance, I would say, is coming off, and it has the tendency to come off as this irisy, almost leathery type vibe. So that, with the use of the jasmine, is what's giving off the kind of smoky, sweet vibe that you get from this in the opening of this fragrance. Now, after a couple minutes, you start to get this kind of salty, almost aquatic type vibe that comes into play, and that's because of the use of ambergris in this fragrance. Now, that ambergris is playing a very good contrast to the other notes in this fragrance throughout the life of the fragrance, because sometimes you're getting vibes from this fragrance that is really dense and kind of sweet, you're also getting vibes at the same time, simultaneously, where it's kind of airy and aquatic and salty. And those two vibes are really playing a contrast with this fragrance throughout really the duration of it, after probably about the first 10 minutes of this fragrance development. Now, on the base of this fragrance, there is amberwood, and there's also cedar wood and fir resin. And so when this fragrance dies down to the base of it, and you actually start to get the base notes to come in, it really dries down to this kind of woody and kind of resinous fragrance, and it really is enjoyable when it gets to the dry down. Overall, I would say that I sincerely enjoy this fragrance. I understand what the hype is all about, and I would side with people that say this is a great fragrance. On a scale of out of 1 to 10, I actually give this fragrance a 9.5. And it's very versatile because of the play, the way that it plays on the salty and kind of airy, aquatic type nature of the fragrance, and then the way, of course, that is kind of dark and woody at the same time. It makes it a very versatile fragrance that you can wear. I would say fall, winter, spring, and maybe even cool summer nights. The only reason I wouldn't wear this in the dead heat of summer is because of the sweet nature of it, that it would kind of, I could see this being very cloying or becoming cloying in the dead heat of summer. Overall, again, I think it's a really good fragrance. I would definitely say get a sample of this. It is very costly. Get a sample of it, try it, give it some time. I actually get really good performance out of it. At one point in time wearing this fragrance, I started feeling like the Ghetto Boys. I said, God dang, homie, my mind's playing tricks on me. Because I thought it was gone, but after about 2 hours, I got good projection out of it for about the first hour and a half. At about that 2-hour mark, I thought that it had disappeared. And after a little while, I started just getting whiffs of it. And I'm like, okay, it's still there. And the compliment factor seems to be pretty high on this one as well. I did receive quite a few compliments the first couple times I've worn this. So honestly and truthfully, people around you, although you may not always be able to pick this up, but I think it's pretty safe to say that people that are around you are going to pick it up. So it has really good sillage. It lasts 8+ hours on my skin. Again, very much a good fragrance. I see and believe, and I'm buying into the hype of Baccarat Rouge 540. Okay guys, that's my time, and as I always say, thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. Don't forget, if you haven't, to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos. Now why would you do that? Because I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and I love to smell amazing. So until next time guys, keep looking good and keep smelling even better. I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.